Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the agenda meeting of the Monroe Township Council. I would like to ask you all to please stand for the salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you. It's because I'm short. Okay, good. The clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Charles DePiero. Here. Councilman Michael Markell.
Here.
Councilwoman Rupa P. Siegel. Here. Council Vice President Terrence Van Zora. Here. Council President Miriam Cohen.
Thank you. Would the clerk please read the Sunshine Law into the record?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, it is hereby announced and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting that adequate notice has been provided by the following. 1. Posted on the bulletin board within the municipal building on December 29, 2023, and remains posted at that location for public inspection. 2. Printed in the Home News Tribune and the Cranberry Press on December 29, 2023. 3. Posted on the Monroe Township website. And 4. Sent to those individuals who have requested personal notice. In accordance with Chapter 3, Section 17 of the Monroe Township Code, the public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes unless further time is granted by the Council President.
Thank you. Proclamations. One was presented to in honor of the Siwa Diwali Food Drive of 2024, and it acknowledged the efforts of all who organized the event and those who donated food that was just given to our food pantry is where I believe it went. May we have the ordinance for second reading, please?
Ordinance 011-2024-025. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of one property on or approximate to Union Hill Road, known as Block 37, Lot 12, for the widening of the public right-of-way and the installation of various improvements.
Item 7, please.
Ordinance for first reading. Ordinance 012-2024-026. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of conservation easement from Brasusa Construction, Inc. on Block 37, Lot 12.
Thank you. Item 8 is resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda at the December 2nd, 2024 regular meeting. R12 2024-274 through R12 2024-294. All members of the council have reviewed these resolutions. Any that you wish removed from the consent agenda, please so state. None. Anyone else? Item 9 is the public comment section. This is limited to agenda items only. May I have a motion to open public comment, please?
Move.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Anyone wishing to address the council on items on this agenda, please come forward now. Please state your name and address for our records.
First of all, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed the holiday. Secondly, my name is Michelle Arminio, 9 Nathaniel Street, and I have a question before I ask my other question. The bill, I was looking through the resolutions and the bills for this month. Is that considered an agenda item? It's not specifically stated in here.
The bill
but
list?
do you approve the bill list?
Yes.
So it isn't?
Yes.
It's on the
It is.
agenda.
Okay, so my question is, we are, on the bill list, I saw something around $62,000 under Affordable Housing Fund being paid out for various things. My question is, we have an affordable housing obligation that is due the third round for 2025. So can you tell us what our how far we are in completing that third round of affordable housing? How many actual affordable homes have been moved in, like people have moved into? Because I know we've had a lot of building, we've had a lot of market rate building. I'd like to know in terms of our affordable housing obligation for the 2025 deadline, how many we have delivered.
Mr. Weinberg, please,
Sure.
and would you like ask?
Yeah, do you want me to answer that now, Council President?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So we're just finishing round 2, which was from 1998. That is the Stratford construction. All the affordable is done, but the market is still completing. That's over by the senior center on Halsey Reed Road. That is from round 2 of affordable housing. Round 2 of affordable housing included Monroe Manor and Stratford, if you're familiar with those two developments. Round 3, I would say that approximately, and I want to be clear here, I would say somewhere around 30% of round 3's affordable housings have been completed. It's a fluid number, so I don't have it in front of me right now. So of the 850 units, multiplying that by that number would be closer to around 260 affordable units. That will have been completed to this point. It will probably take another 10 to 20 years, for round 3 to ultimately be completed, if I had to conjecture.
So my question is, I was at court, I was in the courtroom when the 2025, the round 3 was negotiated. And the master, what they call her, a master?
Special master.
I'm sorry?
Special master.
Yeah, special master, thanks. The special master was very clear, and she was told by our officials that the shovels were in the ground and these things would be delivered. And with all due respect to Mr. Weinberg, he said that approximately 260 have been built. My question is, how many have actually been delivered? How many affordable housing folks are actually living in these units?
Alan, I'm not sure, on the website, do we have the midpoint review?
Yes.
So there's a report that is on the website, but I just want to make it clear that the way the rounds work, the rounds don't anticipate that you're going to build every single one of those units in that 10-year period. All you're obligated to do to satisfy your obligation for that round is to zone to allow for it. So we'll go into the next round, and there'll be some of those units that haven't been built in the first round, but the property will remain zoned for it. So the only real obligation you have, other than we had an obligation to build veterans housing because it was part of our plan, and that's been built. It's instead of 40 units, it was 80 units. So that actually kind of got built.
Again, not filled yet.
It's not filled yet.
Oh,
It'll be over the coming
May I
months.
stop you since my time is
Oh,
running
yeah,
out?
I apologize. I didn't mean to.
So my real question is, we're zoning, but the zoning really accommodates builders who are building market rate, and that's my fear. Don't make a face.
I didn't make a face. I've heard.
I'm making a statement. Most of the market rate things are built and occupied, and if
But
we
that's not true, though. And I'll tell you why it's not true, because there is a COA schedule that talks
so
about.
I would like to know. I mean, I have.
I don't have it off the top of my head, but I can tell you.
I have it here, and it's very difficult to read. And it talks about.
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is in COA's rules, which still, those part of the rules still exist. There is a provision that talks about if you build X percentage of the market rate, you have to build Y percentage of the.
Right, and that
affordable.
didn't happen in Monroe for a long
Well,
time
it happened
until you guys.
It happened in the third round. I can tell you that because we monitor it and we.
Well,
and we
I
withhold
remember
building
being at some of
permits
these
and we do all-
meetings where you were saying to these people, you really need to start building the affordable housing. But my point, let me be very clear about my point. My point is, we're accommodating very, very rich builders and not accommodating the people we need to house. So I'm for affordable housing, and the affordable housing calls for 30%. We could actually increase our housing
new law.
up to 30. No, I thought it was even for the other, okay.
And the
so
old law
are
was
we
20%.
Well, okay, I think I have documentation that says otherwise, but I will go, I will
know
defer.
what the statute says. I
will
don't
defer-
know what
defer to you.
documentation you have.
My point is, the rich are getting richer, and we're still talking about not having enough housing for people who need it. So if we're going to build out Monroe to the extent that we have done in the last 10 years, let us accommodate the people instead of, to me, it's very disappointing that the affordable housing excuse to put all these houses, all these market rate houses up, and we're still not accommodating people. If we've only built 260 of the 850 we're supposed to, how much then is going to be our other round? There was an article in today's paper about Edison, and it named Monroe, that we're going to have another 750 obligation.
It's not true.
So that newspaper article is incorrect.
No,
is
that
what you're telling me.
newspaper article said that DCA issued its non-binding report on the number of units of housing, and the determination as to how many units are going to get built is made by, under the new law, is made by this council, and that has to be done before
I can
January 31st.
only say that we are getting built out like crazy, and again, we still have issues where people who really need housing are not accommodated. So let us be clear about zoning, because zoning, then the builders just bring us to court and say that they can build all these units.
Okay.
I'm just saying, let us be cognizant of that.
And I'm just saying, because I don't want, there's people here and there's people who are going to look at this on television, and I just want to be clear that your characterization of many of these things are just not correct. And
Sir,
the
I've
reason I
been
know
coming
and
to
I'll
these
tell you-
meetings for
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah,
I have
I understand
listened.
that. I understand that, except I sit in the meetings when the building department says to me, Lou, they have approvals to build this many units, but they haven't built the affordables yet, and we stop them from getting COs and building permits until they build the units. So what you don't know is, because what you don't see, not everything that happens in the government happens at these meetings. You don't know that Mark and I and Alan and Kevin and Joe Stroin and the building department monitor these things all the time, and they're getting built in accordance with the phasing schedule that COA requires them to be built. And the other thing that you don't see is the fact that there are, for instance, you say all of the housing is being built. Well, the JSM South development, for instance, is 1,400 units. It hasn't gotten an approval yet. So you can't say
Oh, he
those
will.
units are being.
He has Senator Smith on his side.
But here's the point. Look,
I know.
Is that
trust me
true?
when I tell
Is
you,
it- it's
I
not a-
can
it's
be.
not a false statement.
Trust me when I tell you, I can be as sarcastic as the next guy, but I'm just going to tell you the facts. The facts are that 1,400 units hasn't been approved yet. So you can't say, oh, they've all been built, because that project and the JSM North project hasn't. I don't think half of it has been built yet. But the answer is that we are. Excuse me.
No, JSM North, they just started construction.
Okay, so those are the two biggest developments, and they haven't been built. So what I'm saying is that, look, and I understand your frustration, because I've been doing this. I settled cases in Mount Laurel in the first round. I settled cases in the Mount Laurel 1. I settled Cerevil's case in the Mount Laurel 1. So I've been through every one of these phases. I get it all. Some of it is the new law. It's a little bit different. But what we've done is that we've met our obligation by rezoning, but it's up to us to monitor. And by the way, I'm frustrated as you are, because I think we need to build affordable housing, and I'm not crazy about the market rate housing. So we trust me when I
So
tell
we
you, we do
agree,
everything
sir.
we can.
Can we
What?
close this?
I'm
We
with
agree.
you. No, I don't.
Thank you.
I share your frustration.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, I'm going to entertain a motion to close the public comment section, please.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on that, please?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. May I have a motion to adjourn the agenda meeting, please?
Motion.
Thank you. A second on that motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Fanzora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes. The agenda meeting is adjourned. May I have a motion that, you have a time on that? Yes.
Yes.
May I have a motion to call our regular meeting to order, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Vanzora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes. Motion to approve the payments of claims per the run date of November 25th, 2024.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero?
Abstain.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes of the following meetings as written and presented. November 6, 2024, agenda and regular combined meeting. Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Abstain.
Council President Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Ordinance for second reading, 011, 2024-025. Ordinance authorizing the acceptance of one property on or approximate to Union Hill Road, known as Block 37, Lot 12, for the widening of the public right-of-way and the installation of various improvements. May I have a motion to open a public hearing, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is open on this ordinance only. Anyone wishing to address the council on this matter, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, a motion to close the public hearing on the ordinance, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. I'd like a motion to adopt ordinance 011, 2024-025, please.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Ordinance 012, 2024-026, an ordinance authorizing the acceptance of conservation easement from Brazusa Construction Incorporated on Block 37, Lot 12, parenthetical 7 Union Hill Road. Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you. Second on that.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is resolutions for consideration under the consent agenda, R12, 2024-0274 through R12, 2024-294.
Council President, I have a question
Yes, please.
on R12 2024-287. That's for a cabin chassis only. Which truck is that replacing, and which department is that in? I know it's DPW. Is it in the sign gang?
Yeah.
Mr. Warnberg, please.
Sure, if I could. Yeah, so that's the sign division. It's replacing a 2007 truck with 141,000 miles. This will get us not just the new truck and all the sign equipment that'll go on for the utility, but also a plow that'll go on it because it'll be one of our plow trucks as well.
So which body would they be putting on the chassis, do you know?
I mean, I have to check on the specific body, but it's to replace an existing sign, where they run around and put stop signs up and street signs up and stuff like that.
Do you know which is the color of the truck white?
I don't know the color. I can follow up after the meeting for you. Sure.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. May I have a motion to accept the resolutions, please?
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you again. We'll have a roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero?
Yes.
Councilman Markel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Siegel?
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora?
Yes.
Council President Cohen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. Item 8 is our administrator's report. Mr. Weinberg.
Yes, thank you very much, Council President. I'll have a brief report. First, do want to thank the council for approving the closeout of the South Middlesex Road paving project. This was a state pavement preservation grant of $550,000. The total project cost was $598,000. So on the construction side, the state covered 92% of it. So certainly happy about that grant. As you also see on the agenda this year, third straight year that we have been dramatically less than the state health benefits regarding health benefits for our employees as compared to the state health benefits local section. Over the past 3 years, our total increase has been 11% compared to the state, which has been 46%. So I do want to thank our employees and the admin for working together to change our program and improve it to make sure that we have a competitive program going forward. So certainly appreciate that again. And then finally, just met with our DPW director, has everything set for the winter. Our salt dome has over 3,500 tons of salt, and all our equipment is set up and ready to go. Over 30 plows ready to go, 17 of them including salters. So hopefully it's a mild winter because it costs a lot of money to plow and salt. So we pray for everyone's safety that we don't get a lot, and for our pocketbooks as well, that hopefully we don't get too much bad weather out there. So thank you,
Thank
Council
you.
President.
Mr. Asmowitz, please.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple of comments. The Inwood Estates community, the concrete work there continues. We'll be winterizing that project soon and picking it up again in the springtime for the paving. Also, I'm advising the council, we are out to bid for the James Monroe Park concession stand and restroom project, and we anticipate opening bids on December 12th and anticipate award at the next council meeting.
Thank you very much.
That's my report.
Move to council reports. Councilman Markel, please.
Okay, I'd just like to, I have two comments. I was honored to do what they call a hard hat tour of the new Veterans Building last week. I think there's about 20 of us that took the tour. I'd just like to mention that we had representatives from all the veteran groups there, from Clearbrook, from Rossmore, from the American Legion, from Renaissance, and from Stonebridge. They took a tour with us. Really nice unit. What we found out about the unit was they're going for the CO very shortly, and probably in about 2 weeks they'll be accepting applications for people to apply for residence there. There's 80 units, 37 which are guaranteed to veterans, and the rest veterans have first preference. They're all affordable housing units, by the way. It's a beautiful unit. It's a very nice housing. The people that have already signed up through the website will be notified about the process and what's been going on and how to apply and what applications have to be filled out in the future. If anybody needs the website that's here, I have it. But you already, if you fill it out, the form for consideration, you'll know what that is. The amenities there are pretty nice. There's going to be a central air conditioning, naturally. There's going to be an exercise room. It's just a very nice situation. It's interesting that I was here in the municipal building maybe a half hour earlier today, and 3 or 4 veterans came in looking for information for the building, so I'm sure we're going to have a nice turnout for residency. I, as a councilman and a member of a resident of Monroe, are very proud of that building. It's really a beautiful thing, and our veterans definitely deserve it. The only other thing I'd like to comment on, I was at the Thanksgiving dinner at the senior center where about 200 senior citizens were fed with a beautiful dinner. I just want to commend the staff at the senior center. They did a absolutely fantastic job. It was beautiful. Made me proud to live in Monroe to see something like that. People were very happy. They got soup to nuts. And they had great entertainment also. There was a nice entertainment. So I just want to commend the senior center. The staff is amazing, absolutely amazing. As usual, they did a fantastic job. Those are the only two things I wanted to touch on tonight.
Thank you so much. Councilwoman Siegel, please.
Good evening. Thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see everyone. Hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. So, following along Councilman Markel, we had so many beautiful veterans events. When I look back in November, I think we do a great job in our community honoring our veterans. We had the Veterans event at the Senior Center, and what was so beautiful, I don't know if anyone looked at our website, or I'm sorry, the Township Facebook page, there was a beautiful video with everyone standing up, waving their flags and saying, "God bless the USA." It was just very moving and touching to see that. And many of our senior communities had veterans events that they hosted. I had gone to one at Concordia, and I learned from the vets about the table, the tradition of setting a separate table in honor of the POWs and the MIAs. So that was beautiful, and of course our wreath laying ceremony. Every year it's nice to see more and more of our residents coming out and supporting our veterans. I also want to share our Youth Advisory Council. Our students are back. We had over 250 applications to select about 25 students. So they had their first meeting last month, and I look forward to seeing what and how they will give back to the community this year. So stay tuned for more information. And I know I get this question a lot around the holiday season about different areas where people in the community can share and support people in our communities, whether it's holiday toy drives or shopping our local businesses. We have so many local businesses, and I did see the other day the Monroe Township Police Department is doing a holiday toy drive, so do please check out that information and give back where you can. And we have our Betty Schneider Food Pantry too, so do what you can to help support these initiatives locally. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman DePiero, please.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So this month, we were pretty busy with everything with the veterans, from Veterans Park. We had a great ceremony there, and it was a good crowd. I wanted to thank everybody that was part of that, from our police, first responders, of course, our DPW, and Parks Department. As Councilman Markle said about the senior Thanksgiving luncheon, it was very well organized, very well ran, and also we had a lot of volunteers that were serving and helping. It was done very nice, and the sun came out, and even though it was a rainy morning, it was cold, but the sun came out and the volunteers were there, and the band from middle school came. They did a great job entertaining all of the guests, and they did a really nice job. Just wanted to say thank you. And it makes everybody get the spirit of the holidays. Joan Warren traffic signal looks like it's up and running. Looks pretty well, finally completed. So that's good to see another traffic signal that's working and helps us flow with the traffic and the developer's responsibility. I think that's the biggest concern I have as one of the residents. I've been coming to these meetings since the building's been built, and I can tell you that we got to follow the resolutions, as I've been asking for the last 2 council meetings, and I've yet to get an answer on Mounts Mill complex called Monroe Park for the off-site approvals. I don't know if Kevin can help me out with this, or if this is something that our attorney has to do, but I need to know, I would like to know, the obligations for off-site improvements that the developer is responsible for, because a lot of those improvements were done by the township tax dollars that I'm trying to recoup from the developer. And I think that's something I've asked twice already in the past 2 council meetings. This is the 3rd one I'm asking. Please provide the answers on the resolution and the obligations and the cost that it costs the taxpayers to do those improvements for the developer. Because the complex is complete. I believe all the COs are the building permits probably are all done. I'm not sure about the C of Os. As one of our residents asked about affordable housing, probably about 6 years ago, I asked the question about how many affordable units did we have in the 2015 affordable housing obligation. And that's when the past mayor, Tamboro, put his foot down and he stopped the building on building number 7, and there was no building permits for affordable housing. And the obligation was after 120 units that they would do affordable housing plus commercial. So I think it's important that we follow through with the approvals and the resolutions, that we make sure that they're being fulfilled especially affordable housing, because it's very concerning to hear that we're still working on 1998's obligation, and we're only 30% of 2015's obligation, with 850 units that that the settlement was, and it could have been a lot more, as we've been told over the years. But it's 2024, and we've only met 30%, and now we're going into 2025. So with the 2025 obligation being 750 units, I would try to request if we can get that affordable housing to rebuild some of our homes that are here instead of building new homes, to get credits for that, as we did by buying a nursing home on Spotswood Gravel Hill. We're supposed to get credits there. And I know our attorney's working on that, and I know Alan's working on that, and also Kevin, and I thank you guys for that. But if we could fulfill the least amount of new constructions being built, it would be beneficial to all of us, and maybe get an update on what we've already purchased going. We're trying to get ahead of the curve with the affordables units, and as our attorney just said, we did some zoning, some overlay zoning for the affordable. But when you go around the town and you see all the construction, the trees coming down and the homes going up, and we're only 30% affordable, that's very concerning, and I think we need to focus, as one of our residents brought that up. So I just wanted to say that, and as our councilman said about the Veterans Building, many of us were there, the mayor was there, and our council showed it was very well organized. The building's a beautiful building. I can't urge enough, veterans, please get involved with, if anybody you know that needs housing, Conifer Realty, they're going to have an office on 1 Rossmore Drive, and please get the word out, because I would like to see all 80 units filled with veterans, not just the 37 that they're committed to. And they did say, as our councilman said, they did say they're going to have preference. Well, that's great, that's fine, but if we can't fill it with 80 of our veterans that need housing, then it's shame on us in that sense, because we need to take care of our veterans, and there's definitely, it's a beautiful building, it's a great meeting room there, so if our veterans need to meet during the month, the doors will be open for them, have meetings at that facility. It's a beautiful, they did a very, very nice job. It's well done. It has 9-foot high ceilings. We went into the bedrooms. It's very done very well. The architect did a great job, and the builder did a phenomenal job. Conifer did the building. They did a great building, and I just wanted to say thank you and try to get the word out to our veterans. Also, I requested before, if we can get I know the holidays are coming and people like they're in a rush, a speed trailer on some roads like Monmouth Road, Schoolhouse Road, Avenue K, the 25-mile-an-hour roads that everybody seems to have a tendency to do a little bit more than 25. If you could pass that along to our traffic safety officer. Monmouth Road is a road that have a lot of pedestrians walking up and down, and some has sidewalks, some doesn't. So if we can get some speed trails out there, that will help and enforce police as well. Stonebridge, 24/7 nursing. We've all been receiving emails. It seems like a lot again this month. I'm not sure if we have any updates. I know Kevin was filling us in with some stuff on what was going on there, but do we have any more updates as far as when they're going to do their vote for the residents to see where it's going? Do we have any updates on that?
Please, Mr. Mayor.
Madam Council President, the story that we've seen already being played out, that the Stonebridge HOA came to address the council in regards to an ordinance. It was taken off the agenda, and the HOA is free to do what they need to do. It's my understanding they came up with some sort of rather informal survey, and that's where we sit right now. Again, they do have a supermajority type of situation there in regards to any type of policy change, and I would assume that it has to start with something along those lines before you all make
Before
any
it gets to
decision
us.
on it. So
Right.
that's,
Okay, I just wondered, I know, because, thank you, Mayor, I know we've been getting a lot of emails back and forth, and
yeah, it's the
residents in
their
favor-
survey has riled up the crew. So there you go.
Ah. Okay, so the ball's in their court. Streetlights, I know we talked about that the last couple council meetings, and thank you for the letter that that you prepared and we all signed to send it out. Do we have any idea when the streetlight report will be ready?
Yes, Mr. Weinberg.
Sure. So we had done one in April, and we're doing a new one. And what the councilman, when he says the streetlight report, is we ask the police from time to time to go around and document all the streetlights that are out. Residents do this from time to time themselves. If there's a street light out, they'll put in a request to JCP&L, and we haven't had great experiences with this, but in theory, JCP&L will come out and fix it. But to take matters into our own hand, the police, while they're patrolling at night over a period of 2 weeks, will cover all the roads and write down in an Excel spreadsheet all the lights that are out outside of what we'll call the gated communities, and they'll document all that. Meanwhile, we'll work with all the community managers in the gated communities to get that list. Last time when we did it, it was, I think, close to 600 lights that were out, and they allegedly started working on them, but it's a real-time situation, which is hard to track. So I know the mayor and council just wrote a very strongly worded letter to JCP&L because of their frustration and residents' frustration about the lack of maintenance of streetlights. And so, to answer your question, Councilman, we should probably within the next week or two have that updated list, which we can share with both JCP&L and the council as well.
That'll be great, thank you, and if you can thank the police for doing it, that's something well needed, and we should do, more often. Mounts Mill, Old Bridge, Englishtown Road, it's nice to go through there, and if we have to wait 1 or 2 traffic lights, that's fine. It's a lot safer, so I wanted to thank the county, I wanted to thank Mark and his staff for getting that section done, and also I wanted to thank Mark for the Sarah Lane, the crossroad section as they go into Sarah Lane, that it's all hash marked so somebody can't block the residents from getting in and out of their street. So thank you, and I think it's well deserved. We waited a long time and it's done. So thank you. I wanted to thank everybody part of that. Christmas light, Christmas tree lighting is going to be Wednesday, 6:30 at Avenue K for the parade, and then 7 o'clock at the rec center. Station 51 is going to help out, and I know our township as well will be part of that as well. So that's this Wednesday for the Christmas tree lighting. And BFI, the report is out for the 5-year review for the BFI, the landfill, that we'll make a copy of this available at the library, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on the website. It'll be on our BFI webpage as well. I just noticed
Okay,
that
will
as
this
well.
be on this will be on our website and also at the library?
Yeah, it's on the web. It'll be on it's the EPA document.
Okay.
We had advertised that they would eventually put it out, and it looks like they just did, so it'll be on our website.
Okay, good. And then I had a question in reference to the painting of the water tower. I wanted to thank Lou for the victory today on the case for that, on the bid process, and thank Lou and his firm for that. But what's our plan going forward? When will the next bid be, and when are we looking to get that work done to paint that water tower?
Mr. Stroin, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. The timing right now is such that we can't take that tank down based on a schedule to paint it until the fall of 2025. As you know, we begin hydrant flushing which is a huge demand on water. That tank is critical to fire protection down the southern part of town. And the whole plan was to get the tank down during the fall low demand season. But because of the case, we've obviously had to delay that schedule. So we're going to rebid it in the spring with an award, and the work will begin again around October 15th of 2025.
Okay, so we're probably going to have to increase our bond in reference to that, but our legal and Alan will work that out, I'm sure. But thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Vanzura, before you, I just wanted to make a comment on the affordable veterans housing, that it was made very clear that Monroe Township wishes it to be completely occupied by veterans. Conifer did tell us at the affordable housing meeting that you need 1,000 applicants if you wish to rent all those units out to the 80 units out to veterans. So that the councilman's comments about getting people that you know, because they need to be vetted and registered and there's income requirements. But that certainly was the mayor's desire, and it was certainly the Affordable Housing Board's desire as well, that is how that would progress. Mr. Vanzura, please. Hi there.
Thank you, Madam President. There were quite a few events this month, and it was nice to see the different veterans events that we had, and always great to honor them for their service. The Small Business Saturday was a good thing also for local businesses. I hope that it was eventful. And as was mentioned, Wednesday the 4th, annual tree lighting and car parade takes place at 6:30 p.m., and that starts at Avenue K, winds up at the Rec Center. For those of you that might be prone to the chill and the cold, we also have a planning board meeting that evening in this nice warm courtroom over here. So anybody that gets a little chilly, feel free to come in and join us at the planning board. Now, we went through recently Black Friday. We went through, today's actually Cyber Monday, where people get lots of bargains and they get all excited. Tomorrow's a different day. Tomorrow's what's called Giving Tuesday, which I never really heard of till this year, but maybe I missed it. But it's a day for giving to others. And, listen, not everybody's in a position where they can afford to give, and that's okay. If someone's in that situation, there's no need to ever feel guilty about it. But if you can give, I picked out a few totally diverse charities that I wanted you to consider. And any charity that you could give to, anybody that you could help out, is a great thing. So don't feel like these are the only things around. But the first one that struck me is the Leonid Foundation. They just had their annual Thanksgiving dinner just about a week or two ago. And we've brought this up occasionally. This is an organization run by our own citizens, Anna and Edward Moreau, and they help a lot of the Ukrainian people over there that need help, but also people that come here, and many are refugees in our country or in our state, and they help them find places to live, get documented, do all the things so that they can get jobs and start to work. And they also help others that are left behind in Ukraine. And right at this time, I don't think things are going too well in Ukraine, so this is an organization that timely for you to consider. If you do want to get involved or donate, I will tell you this is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so any money that you give is tax deductible. You could call their number, 732-200-2990, or visit them at the leonidfoundation.org. So that's one organization to think about. Now, second one involves cancer treatment. And I've always think of the American Cancer Society. It's something I've given to in the past, but I always wonder where exactly it goes, what type of things. And all of us know somebody or someone that's been stricken with cancer, and sometimes it just seems like it's an uphill fight, and where are we getting? Well, I got a little notice in the mail the other day that the Rutgers Cancer Institute at Robert Wood Johnson in New Brunswick is involved in a particular program, and they're calling it a CAR T-cell therapy program. And what it does is it utilizes a person's own immune cells, which are called the T cells, to target and eliminate cancer. And the best way you can think of this is that many people who have cancer go and get chemotherapy. Well, the chemotherapy destroys the malignant cells, but it also destroys the healthy cells. With this particular type of therapy that they've developed, it only destroys the cancerous cells, and it helps the body heal itself, so that all the healthy cells don't get destroyed. And to be honest with you, this is really a pretty amazing medical breakthrough that they have. And it's something I saw and I was just like, well, that's amazing. Right now it's being used primarily for blood cancer type of patients, like leukemia and things of that nature. But they're hoping to expand it soon to lung, pancreatic cancer, and other cancers. These are all pretty serious things. So seeing some form of breakthrough, I just thought it was a nice thing to see, and maybe if we could contribute to that Robert Wood Johnson University Foundation, maybe they can continue to make the progress that they're making. So again, this is also a 501c3 charity. Anything that you give them is tax deductible. All right, and I got one more, totally different, off the wall type of thing. And the last organization I wanted to mention is John Bon Jovi's JBJ Soul Kitchen. And it's the John Bon Jovi Soul Foundation. And they have, I think they have 4 locations right now, but they have a restaurant in Red Bank, one in Toms River, and one up at the Rutgers Newark and New Jersey City University up in Jersey City. The way it works is this. You go to eat there are no prices on the menu. You don't have to pay for your food. If you can afford it, you make a donation. If you can afford it even better, then you give a little bit more than the donation that might be requested or required, in the same aspect as you would say paying it forward. So if you have an extra $20, you go there, you have a nice little dinner. They give you a 3-course dinner, an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. And if you can afford a little bit extra, then you're helping out somebody else who can't afford a good meal. I just thought that was a real nice thing. I've heard about, I mean, this isn't brand new. It's been around for a while. I never really understood exactly how it worked, so I took the time to do a little research and find out about it. And also, for some of the people who can't afford the meal, they say, hey, instead of a meal, maybe you could volunteer for a little while. So some of those people might be the waiters, the cooks, or even, cleaning the dishes in the back. Up to date, over almost 200,000 meals have been served to people in need. 57% of those people that got it wound up doing some form of volunteering. 43% of it was paid with the donations that other people had made. So I just thought this was really a great thing and a perfect example of people helping other people. If you can, you're hungry, take a ride to Red Bank, take a ride to Toms River, grab a meal, maybe make a little donation, and I think you'll feel better about it. Again, 501c3 charity. Any donations you made are tax deductible, and their site is jbssoulkitchen.org. If anybody needs any of these sites that I just rambled off on, give me a call, text me, email me, and I'll be glad to get you the information. They're not the only ones. I just thought those were interesting and different to some extent. I mentioned them. Anything you could do is helpful. As Rupa said, we have our own Betty Schneider thing right here for people in Monroe, and that's a wonderful thing. So I don't want to make it, short shrift of that, because that's something that's kind of important. So in this time of the holiday season, whether you celebrate Diwali, whether it's Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever it might be, think about giving to others, and hopefully I wish you to have a great holiday season and have a happy, healthy New Year. We'll all work together in this town. We've shown it before, and I thank you for all that.
I think your mic's off.
Mike's off.
Am I on again?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, goody. I should learn to use a mic. I thought I wanted to mention that after listening to you, Mr. Van Zora, that Kevin McGowan is on the board of Elijah's Promise in New Brunswick, which is
excellent.
yes,
Excellent
yes, which is a long-standing organization that serves those in need and does training and education. He's very quiet about it, so now everybody who's here now knows that. Mr. Mayor, would you please honor us with your report?
Madam Council President, once again, thank you for the honor of addressing the council and the residents here with my report. Yes, Councilman Van Zura, the John Bon Jovi Kitchen, I've visited the site up at the Rutgers Newark location. Very unique and worthwhile to go and have a good meal, but also to warm the soul a little bit. So I highly recommend it. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family and or friends, or both. It's an annual event at the Delina household for many years now, and I love my family so very much, and I love them even more in Thanksgiving. I tend to have my Thanksgiving early, 1 o'clock serving, and man, everyone is gone by 5 o'clock, and it's a beautiful thing. So, it's my wife and I, we're just, love the family, but it's nice when they leave. As was mentioned, many Veterans Day events occurred here in Monroe Township, and we've seen the veteran community really coalesce in regards to the recognition that they deserve. And I've always, said that, they're citizens with distinction. In particular, this year, when I give speeches for Veterans Day, I don't like to give the same thing over and over again. I truly like it to come from my heart. And as I had mentioned at the numerous speeches that I gave at the many veterans events this particular year, one of the greatest resources was my father, a veteran of the Coast Guard. So, I had his dog tags and duffel bag, some articles. He played sports as well while he was in the Coast Guard, football and baseball. But I recall seeing his training manual, and I was able to find it to see if I can procure some inspirational words from his training manual. Now, firstly, I realized it was the training manual for the U.S. Navy. And the Coast Guard, I guess, at the time just didn't have a training manual, so they borrowed the Navy training manual. And, there was just a lot of weird-looking pictures in there and stuff, and about boats and things like that. But there was a particular part of it. It was called Pointers On. And it was pointers on health, hygiene, taking leave, but one of the pointers was about friends. I guess friends that you make in the service, and it really hounded the fact that you really should try to be friends with your leaders, even if they're yelling at you, which a lot of the veterans thought it was funny. But it said just make sure you pick good friends to be next to you when needed. And just for all of us to spend some time with our veterans over these last couple of days, I think we picked some good friends in our veterans for sure. So I just thought that was quite poignant. I do want to give a shout out to our library staff for yet again creating a community event, our Harvest Market. I mean, over the summer, they have all of the farmers market and obviously all of the wonderful things they do at the library. But again, stepping up for the harvest market that we had last week. So I did want to thank everybody at the library for again, stepping up. I also wanted just to recognize that we received our NJDOT grant for $414K. It's a grant to pave the Heritage Chase neighborhood, which will include ADA ramps and improvements. Again, this is something that we've done over the past couple years for a number of neighborhoods in our community, and it's something that we will certainly continue to look forward to. but the Heritage Chase project will commence in 2025. As was mentioned about the JCP&L, these streetlights have been the bane of all of our existence here in regards to it, especially with the all it takes is that hour change, and all of a sudden people realize how many more lights are out. I'm so very disappointed in the overall inactivity of JCP&L in replacing lights, and I know that there are the stories about wiring and all this other stuff, but it's been tough for all of us in regards to trying to push JCP&L. The other thing, point of interest in regards to, I guess, the frustration is the lack of the update. So, we have to spend our resources to go out and try to get this inventory to tell JCP&L, hey, these lights are out, and all of a sudden you'll see them spike a little bit in regards to fixing it, but then all of a sudden it goes away. So I assure you, we are on it as a team. We will continue to push to make sure those lights are fixed, they're fixed properly, but more importantly, the information comes to us into regards to what's getting done, who's doing it, where it's being done. So it's, again, sometimes it starts with penning a letter and keep pushing it, and I assure you as a team we'll be working on that one. It is the holiday season. The annual Mayor's Toy Drive is underway. If you are interested here in Town Hall, you can stop by the Mayor's office to get a off the tree. You can get a gift for a child and an age. Certainly, if you were to go in my office, it's full of toys right now. I can't believe how much people give. It's just crazy. It's unbelievable. It makes you feel the way you should during these holidays, because this is what it's about. I especially want to thank the Italian American Club at Stonebridge, who had a dedicated event for it. It was wild. They needed three. It used to be one truck, 3 trucks now to go and get all of the gifts for the kids here in locally. So I just want to thank you so very much. If you're interested, just stop on by the mayor's office during the course of the week to continue that positive feeling. And our upcoming holiday parade, the parade will be starting at Avenue K, Veterans Park, and will traverse through the northern part of the town and end up at our community center for the tree lighting. Councilman Van Zor will be here warm. I will continue the tradition of driving in a 1961 convertible. 30 degrees, or I don't care. That's what hats are for. That's what mittens are for. That's what a little flask of whiskey is for. Oh, I was supposed to say, I'm not driving. Somebody else is driving. So, but it's such a nice event to end up at the community center for our tree lighting, and it just a continuation of our celebration of all holidays throughout through December. So that's it for me. Again, Madam Council President, I thank you
You're
for
most welcome,
allowing
sir.
me to provide some words.
Always a pleasure, sir.
All good.
Always a pleasure. We will now move to the public comment section of our agenda. I'd like a motion to open public comments, please.
Motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Please, if you wish to address the council, please come forward. There is a 5-minute time limit which will be enforced. We will need your name and address for our records. Thank you. Have a seat at the mic. There are 2 of them. Your name and address, ma'am, please.
Yes, Susie Cohen. I live at 5 Cricket Court in Monroe Township in Stonebridge. So I just want to add a little something to what I can't see my glasses. He mentioned about the ordinance, about an update. We did have a vote, and the vote was to take the ordinance away. The majority did vote to take it away. And I was told that the board is having a meeting with the mayor sometime this month to discuss that, to get it back on the, somewhere. That's what I was told from the people. But it was voted, and it was voted to have it taken off. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Sir, please. Folks, would you hold your applause, please? Thank you so much.
Paul Alschuler, 168 Diamond Spring Drive, Monroe Township. First, off my sheet, I'd like to thank the mayor for bringing up the fact about all the street lights. Being retired, most of the time I have to go out and pick up my dinner, and in doing so, I must pass in my short trip of 8 minutes at least 8 street lights that are out. And I wondered to myself if the police department are reporting this, and the mayor said they are. And my belief, and I agree with him, is that PSE&G has dropped the ball. These many, I'm sorry?
JCP&L, sir.
JCP&L. This shouldn't have gotten to this point. There are at least a half a dozen streetlights out in our community alone, and I know they've been reported. So I thank everybody for addressing this issue, and I guess you guys just got to keep on top of it. Okay, now what I have prepared.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for allowing me to speak to the council. We are not here to determine whether or not Stonebridge will have nursing services. We are merely asking to be treated equally with other Monroe communities. We are the only HOA to be required to have 24/7 nursing services. The town asked for the majority opinion of Stonebridge residents as to whether or not they wanted the town mandate removed. In a fair and impartial vote, the residents stated that they want the mandate to be removed. We ask you take this information and act on it. If the ordinance is removed, it does not mean we will not have a nurse. It merely lets us decide on our own if we shall have a nurse or merely modify the nurse's hours to better suit our needs. Thanks once again for your time and listening.
You're most welcome. Someone else wishing to, please. Please hold the applause, folks. Thank you.
Hi,
Hi.
Christine Gandy Galasso, 202 Matchaponics. I have very quickly something prepared. I'm nervous. So.
Don't be nervous.
I'm here to talk about cats. I know it sounds unusual.
Feel free.
But I just wanted to express a proposal in brief. We as residents are desperate in need of help from the town in regards to the large colonies of stray cats here. There is a proven program called TNR, which is Trap, Neuter, and Release. In short, that means that you trap the cats, you take it to a facility, and most of the times it is of low cost or no cost, and then you release them back to where they were. Some towns make colonies. I'm not in favor of that, but that will be discussed later. So the other towns are surrounding us. Spotswood just implemented us. Milltown has one. East Brunswick has one, just to name a few. So I feel like we're a little bit behind the curve here. I am asking Mayor and Council to seriously consider implementing this program that traps the strays, brings them to the vet clinic, and if requested, they get other vaccines. They definitely get their rabies vaccine when they go, okay? This program helps with the safety of the residents. It controls the population and reduces the risk of disease. Right now, we currently have an amazing animal control that is on board with this program, and we have residents, including me, volunteering and trapping. The residents are helping to reduce the size of the colonies, but all these individuals need to come together in an organized TNR program to be successful. When the residents are in need, they have no idea who to turn to. About 2 years ago, my mom had an issue, and no one could tell me how to help me with the multiple cats at her property. It's like a secret. No one wants to divulge how they have their little trades, but as I've been digging and finding and making contacts, and now that we have also the animal control people that are really on board and helping the residents, so as a good teamwork, we are doing some things, and Some sections, like they have done 30 cats, some sections they have done 5 cats. Any little bit helps, but there's multiple cats out there. So anyway, I'm asking for your help, and social media, if you go on there, they're also asking for help. So let us give them the tools in the program to help. Okay, this is getting a little too long, so I'm just gonna speak from my heart. So my mom had an issue. My aunt lives across the street, and she's onset with dementia. Everyone likes to say, oh, but you're feeding them, that's the problem. Well, how can you tell somebody that is a senior, and we're a community of seniors that are living alone, to stop doing something? We need to educate them, and that's also part of the program, okay? You educate them on what to do, what not to do. There's just more involved with that. I'm closely meeting with the lady in Sayreville that started the TNR program. We actually have a meeting on Thursday. I'd like to be able to send an email and keep you updated on all of this.
Sure.
Because I know animal control also has very big ideas too. And if this comes to your table, please consider it. It is a really helps the burden off of us. And, instead of me trying to trap 50 cats, and getting the help with everyone else.
Sure.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming and bringing this information to us. I remember when it was implemented in East Brunswick.
Yes,
A
thank you.
very long time ago.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone else wishing to address us? Please, ma'am, your name and address for our records.
Linda Shapiro, 34 Mandrake Road. I wondered if an arrow could be put in on Prospect Plains Road and Applegarth, because I think it's a dangerous intersection. And cars can never turn left because the light doesn't turn in time to allow a car to go through. And an arrow would solve the whole problem.
That is an intersection that is being
Our county township engineer.
Council President, no new update other than that it's a county project. The intersection is designed, and it's at the NJDOT for final approval. That's the last information.
But it would include an arrow, correct?
It would
Mark,
include
once
an
it's
arrow.
done?
Great.
Love to be able to say that. Anyone else? Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to us? Here you go.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Panucci, and I was just wondering when the new issue of the Monroe News is coming out.
Do we have an answer?
Oh, I think actually in the next 2 weeks. That's
2
great.
weeks,
Great
Nicholas.
question.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Anyone else wishing to address us, please come.
Looks like that.
Anyone else wishing to address us, please come forward now. Seeing and hearing none, I have a motion to please close the public comment section, please, folks. Thank you. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. May I have a motion to adjourn this council meeting, please? Thank you. Second. Roll call, please.
Councilman DePiero. Yes. Councilman Markel. Yes. Councilwoman Siegel.
Yes.
Council Vice President Van Zora.
Yes.
Council President Cohen.
Yes.
We are adjourned at 7:39.
We are.